Whew. Alright, it's Tuesday. We're going to prep some Pathfinder. We're going to prep some 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. So we're going to be prepping today. There was a big update to Pathfinder 2E over the weekend. Battle Cry came out. It's a huge book. I picked up the PDF. Had some very exciting stuff in it. Always nice to support Paizo. They are the good guys. So even though they give us all the stuff for free, never hurts to pick up the book, pick up the PDF, show them your support. So on that same topic of everything being free, Battlecry was added already to Foundry VTT for free, but it required being on the most recent version of Foundry, and also the most recent version of Foundry Pathfinder 2E, which is why we didn't get to use it last night. Hopefully that is resolved today. I have a few Foundry mods and updates we got to check in on, and then with whatever time we have left, we got about 40 minutes. So with that, whatever time we have left, we will finally be digging into the next book, because we got Burnt Offerings locked down tight, in my opinion. So should be fine. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, what is happening over here? Is this a slider for the time of day? What the hell? Okay. Let's go in here, and we're gonna do show art. I thought I installed show artwork. Did they change the name to show art? Okay. I'm gonna turn off show token art because that does not seem to be working. Alright. Let me see if there's any other ones that we're supposed to be turning on. Just go back through here. Nuts and Bolts is back in business. Turn that shit on. Chat Commander, Chat Stamps, Crunch Party. I think Monk's Tiles is up and running. Nope. Wait, Monk's active tile triggers. Good. Okay. And let's see what else. Alright. Momo's Token Changer never caught up to the new version. Monk's Token Bar hasn't caught up to the new version yet. Animist, we don't need. Control click effects. Yeah, I think that's fine. Don't want to deal with that. I don't know if PF2E dying is working or not. So I'm not going to turn it on. I don't really got the brain power today to be doing a lot of complicated Foundry shit. So, yeah. I will add to our to-do list that we need to pick up the Starfinder shit for Monday and Thursday. Starfinder shit. Odd. Okay, throw that on the pile, the to-do list pile. Prime performance, all that. Keeping the calendars off for now. Starfinder 2nd edition playtest. We shouldn't need that anymore. There it is. Starfinder Anachronism. Okay, so we don't need it here. Walled templates Wayfinder. Alright, I'll go ahead and reboot. Alright, sweet. It was a little touch and go on whether we were going to be able to play tonight. I had one person that wasn't sure they'd get out of work in time, and another person that ended up with no internet. But both of those problems have been alleviated, so that's good. Alright, in order to turn off this obnoxious shit in the right-hand side here, we've got a... oh. Got some bolts. There we go. So... alright, if I make a new character named Guardian, and then I go into class, if we've done everything right, we should be able to get Guardian. Booyah. There we go. So, it's working. It's working. Alright, I'll let Muffin know. Alrighty. Let's see. Oof. What else? We can get rid of this then. Delete. Alright. Wait. Now my one guy is looking like he's not gonna make it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. You could always join chat, and someone could stream their screen to Discord for you. Not sure how your mobile signal is. Okay. So let's go in here. We're going to go to configure settings. We're going to go down to our good friend PF2E HUD. I don't really know if they're my good friend. They're kind of annoying. And they just keep adding more shit. Display modifiers instead of the difficulty value in the different HUD elements. Show highest speed, health status, auto expand, combat tractor. No, don't do that. Dice panel, get the fuck out of here. Persistent HUD disabled. Time tracker, enable this HUD element in your client. This is overwritten when the player access system world clock setting is disabled. That must be that obnoxious thing in the fucking top right. I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. Token HUD's good though. Token tooltip is good. Alright, save. Surprised it didn't ask me to restart. Okay, then we're gonna go in here. We're gonna go down to show art. Maybe? Doesn't look like show art has any settings. Okay, then we're gonna go down to PF2E tool belt. There we go. And we're gonna turn on where is it? Droppeth, giveth, hero actions. Evening friends. Oh, we prepping the horny module. I'm actually curious, I am Mr. V, just how horny it stays, you know what I'm saying? In the sequel. Obviously in the olden times, in the olden times, it was pretty horny, but maybe not so horny anymore. We'll have to see. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna open this deck up. We're gonna do cards. I'm gonna reset the whole thing. Beautiful. All right. Let's see. What else? What else? Oh right. We wanted to see if this show artwork that Caden X recommended is working. I would love for it to fucking work. Shift Z and Shift X. Listen, baby. I want that to work more than you know. Okay. I'm waiting a long time for this. Shift Z did nothing. It did nothing. Oh my god. Okay. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. That's fine. That's fine. Alright. Manage modules. Show. Turn show art off. Turn show token art on. Restart. Fast flip is also still broken. It's just wild to me that in order to access the latest Pathfinder stuff, you got to be on the latest possible edition of Foundry. So you got to be on 13.457, I don't know, some shit like that. Did the show artwork work? Nah, it doesn't work, dude. But we are finally getting access to Battlecry. So there is that. Alright, so show token art works, but then I have to go and I still have to hit show to players. But hey, it's better than double clicking, opening it. I'm very jealous of you, I am, Mr. V, but not jealous enough to self-host. So, I put my money where my mouth was with the self-hosting, and I put a solid like 6 weeks into looking into self-hosting options, and at the end of the day, I was deemed too irresponsible with my technology to self-host. Not PF2E though. Oh, okay. Listen, if I could go back in time and just have Foundry 7, just Foundry 7 forever, like Dungeons and Dragons Foundry 7, there was never a better experience ever. It was so good. Everything was so good. Yeah. Well, that was another concern about me being irresponsible, is like that I would flash my information on stream, that I would leave the servers on, that somebody would get on my home network. I mean, there's just a lot of things. Like, I didn't mind the startup cost. I didn't mind the idea of, doing it. Yeah, I could have done like an Amazon one. We looked into that, looked into a Microsoft rental. I did look into a lot of stuff. It just didn't make sense for me. It didn't make sense for me. Alright, so PF2E, RPG numbers, and more. Added handling for PF2E tool belt rolls and rerolls criticals. That's fun. Required Ganga version. I don't know. Do we have Ganga turned on? Let's see. Manage modules. Ganga. Yep, we sure do. Alright. So, let's see if fast flip is working. Nope, fast flip still doesn't fucking work. Alright. Not having fast flip hurts my soul. It hurts my soul not to have that. Alright, let's go to controls. Fast flip. Flip selected tile. Flip selected token. Bro, why are you control F? You guys can be the same, like, Jesus Christ. Alright. Shift to flip vertically. Show speech bubble. I don't need that. Displays a speech bubble attached to your token. What? That speech bubble is very small. Okay. Alright, hey, we're back in business. Hey. Alright. So, fast flip. I want to force my decision onto everyone else. How do I force settings? Manage modules. Force client controls. Yeah. That's what I want to do. Is that not working? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, the time has come to read the real adventure Seven Dooms raw, baby. Raw. It's raw. Alright. We gotta keep an eye on the clock too. Because we did start a little late today. Because, crushing sadness, led to a late dinner. But hey, life continues. Alright. So look at this handsome motherfucker. Alright. The town, as we know, doesn't seem to have changed much. But does Book 2 make sense? Joke's on you, asshole. There isn't a Book 2. Well, okay, now I feel like an asshole. There is... In 7 Dooms for Sandpoint, there is only one book. So that means that this guy, James Jacobs, who has done a little bit, a small amount of TTRPG work, he's still a rookie, is the main author. Actually, he's listed as the only author of this adventure, so it shouldn't suffer from the same nonsense that other ones do, where they swap out the writing team each book so that you end up with the Cradle of Quartz. Hey, listen, we found out last night, Brandon, we found out last night that the Cradle of Quartz was a brilliant bit of writing because it completely set up Stolen Fates, which I'm sure was the intention of the hardworking people at Paizo. Yep. Anyways, alright. There's some dope art here. They got this kind of greedy old guy, you know? You got whatever the fuck this My Little Pony is. Alright. Campaign overview. The town of Sandpoint is worse than doomed. For decades, this small settlement has endured one potential disaster after another. But each time, a hero or group of adventurers stepped up to save the day. Yet now, 7 separate dooms have come together, converging on the region in a way that, if not defeated in time, could well bring ruin 7 times over to the so-called light of the Lost Coast. Running this adventure path. 7 Dooms for Sandpoint is a milestone volume, the 200th installment of Paizo's long-running Pathfinder adventure path. In addition to returning to the town where it all began in Volume 1 with burnt offerings, that is kind of rad, guys. We're going from Volume 1 to Volume 200. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool. I mean, that's a fun thing to be a part of. I think that's really cool. In addition to returning to the town where it all began in Volume 1 with burnt offerings, this volume brings over 2 times the pages of adventure. 7 Dooms for Sandpoint is an entirely self-contained adventure path, one that will bring a group of PCs from 4th level all the way to 12th. Oh, baby. So speaking of which, what level is everybody? I never remember what level my players are. 2. Okay, that sounds good. I mean, they've only killed, what, a pig? 5 goblins? Like, Jesus Christ. Okay. The 7 Dooms. The primary villain of this adventure path is a Mothman priest. A Mothman. Okay. Of Pazuzu, known as the Red Bishop. 4 to 12 is crazy. Like a crazy amount to pick. Some say it's the sweet spot of Pathfinder 2e. I think after my Curse of Strahd is done, I'm doing actual modules that span 3 levels max. Yeah, man, like, Muffin's running a caveman game on Sundays, and I was honestly legit, because I'm a piece of shit and I canceled Kingmaker, I was honestly like, well, maybe I'll sign up for that since I've got my Sundays free. But then they were like, yeah, it's actually like 3 books, and it's gonna. And I was just like, never mind, never mind. I was willing to like play like a single book adventure, you know, something that's like 3 levels in and out, and you're done. But I wasn't ready to commit to. I don't know. I can't do it. I'm I'm not a very good player, so it's like it takes so much out of me to be a player. I could run 5 games and it would be less exhausting than being a player for 1 game. I don't know. I don't know why being a player is. It doesn't fill me up at all. It just empties me out. All right. The Red Bishop, but he is only one of the 7 dooms Sandpoint's newest heroes must prevent. While the PCs slowly uncover the true scope of these perils as they play, they're described briefly below for context. All right, I love that. You know what? Let's get our notes out. We probably have notes for this adventure, maybe. Where are we at for time? I got about 20 minutes. That's fine. Let's see. Sandpoint. Player, Burnt Offerings, the Sandpoint Legacy. Sandpoint with a question mark. 7 dooms for Sandpoint consent survey. Damn. Do I not have notes for this adventure? 7 dooms, Burnt Offerings. There we go. Alright. Okay. Let's go. Flesh out Suto's journal. Oh shit, that would have been a good one. Okay. But we're gonna go with a new tab, and we're gonna do 7 dooms. Because apparently, I put all of my effort into Burnt Offerings. I haven't done any prep at all, apparently. So, that's fine. Fine. We never do prep, right? It all turns out okay. Guess. And, you know, sometimes the games you prep for the most, you know, they aren't even your best games. Who knows? Alright. Let's see, actually. Boom. The first doom, the Grave Knight Goblin Rip Nugget, seeks to burn Sandpoint to the ground. The second doom, the Sandpoint Devil, awakens to spread terror and death through the town. The third doom, the prisoner Oliver Potiker, intends to poison the town's water supply with a dangerous supernatural drug known as Midnight Milk. The fourth doom, an evil cult that worships the Sandpoint Devil, seeks to transform their leader after preying upon the town. The fifth doom, the ghost of murderer Jervis Stoot, possesses a new host to begin a new rampage. The sixth doom, the Ghast priest Canker, has worked a deal to transform the people of Sandpoint into his undead pawns. And the seventh doom, the Red Bishop plans to use the PCs to undo an ancient ward that will allow the Abyss to rupture through reality and create a brand new world wound throughout Varisia. Okay, that is kind of a lot of shit for one small coastal community to deal with. Alright, it's all who you know. Before diving into this adventure, first read about where it all takes place. The Doomed Town, starting on page 167, gives an overview of the town, the factions within, and some prominent movers and shakers. It also provides tips for using the reputation system in the Game Master's Guide to accentuate your adventuring experience. The PC's actions and relationships in town can influence the course of this adventure. We know all about Sandpoint. Shut up. Sandpoint, Light of the Lost Coast. While most of 7 Dooms for Sandpoint takes place in a sprawling dungeon in and around a local feature known as the Pit, there's still plenty of adventure to be had in town as well. Encounters with locals and locations key to this adventure's plot are presented as needed. An expanded look at the doomed town of Sandpoint appears near the end of this book, but that section only provides brief descriptions for the locations and people of the town. If you want to breathe more life into Sandpoint, look no further than the Pathfinder campaign setting, Sandpoint, Light of the Lost Coast, published in 2018. It's a 96-page book full of shit about this one town. Are you fucking serious? Alright, hold on. Paizo, I just said at the beginning of the stream that it's good to give you guys money, and now you're making me look like a fucking shill. Alright. It's on Amazon. Bro. That's price. That's for the actual physical book. I don't need a physical book. Alright, let's go to Paizo.com. Paizo. We're not going to buy it right now, but I didn't know they made a whole goddamn book about the town. Alright, let's see. Sandpoint. This is some bullshit right here. This is some bullshit. What's happening at Paizo? They're taking Crash's money. That's what they're doing. God. Lord's always testing us. Try to sound like a real bro. Be like, yeah, man, they're the good guys. Give them their money. And then right away, they give me some in-app purchase in my adventure. Also, their website is not loading. So I guess we're in the clear. Don't have to buy it. While published for the Pathfinder First Edition rule set. Wait! I might have this. Hold on. Hold on. I might actually already have this. We might not have to purchase it. Let's see. Sandpoint, Light of the Lost Coast. Okay, I got a map. Okay. Rise of the Rune Lord's Player's Guide looks great. Burnt Offerings, Feast of Raven, Edge of Anarchy, History of Ashes, nope. Hook Mountain Massacre. Bro. Skinsaw Murders. No, this is all just Rune Lord stuff. Gazetteer. Bonus Adventure. I feel like we would have seen it by now if we had it. Game Master's Guide. First Edition NPC Guide. Bastard of Erebus. Oh, Jade Regent. Inner Sea Bestiary. Guide for New Players. Tides of Honor. Children of the Void. Shadow in the Sky. Goblins of Galarian. Rise of the Rune Lords 3. Let's see. Guide to Corvosa. Guide to the Shackles. City of Strangers. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Transition Guide. Mother of Flies. The Twice Damned Prince. How could I have like everything that ever came out for Pathfinder 1 not have this shit? Alright, that's crazy. What do we got here? Alright, the town of Sandpoint's been through a lot. Blah, blah, blah. Campaign's birth. Oversized 96-page campaign book. It's a guide to creating your own campaign in the most popular town. It amuses me that many nations are detailed in a single book, and this sleepy coastal town gets an entire book of its own. Yeah, for sure. Alright. We'll come back. We'll come back for you later. Okay. Sandpoint campaign guide. Barf. Okay. The Dooms. I am definitely going to try all the $dollar patrons once I get hired. Want to try Bailiwiki stuff. By the way, did you see the short story I posted in the Odyssey of the Yeah, I didn't read it, but I did know that Ryzon was a lady-ish person. Because somebody talked about it quite a bit. There was, you know, there's been so much work done on that campaign in that Discord. So at one point, somebody really went hard and broke down all like the Dragon Lords and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. All right, let's see. Much of the plot for this adventure comes from story hooks and details presented in this earlier book. What? Wait a minute. Okay, so the book's not... Alright, we'll get the fucking book. Jeez. You may wish to remind these players of the value of keeping a barrier between the character's knowledge and their own knowledge. At the same time, some of the details presented in Sandpoint, Light of the Lost Coast, have been altered and changed in this adventure to serve the needs of the plot. Key names. This is all the important people. All right, so hold up a second. Dooms. All right. Okay, finally digging into the actual Sandpoint adventure. Can you reformat this for Google Docs? Easy pasting. I think this channel could 100% be used to generate an AI Crash Gem book reader voice. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who would... You want to Itomara? Well, no. Because if Itomara was reading you a book, you'd fall asleep pretty quick. I mean, I listened to him read the Pathfinder rules book, like the revised rule book, but I was painting a room. Like, I was painting walls and stuff, so it would have been harder for me to fall asleep. If I was just, like, sitting, listening to him, I'd probably fall asleep. Alright, let's see. Okay, go ahead and paste these bad boys in. Key names. Good. Alright, campaign timeline. Key events leading up to the start of 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. Alright. Alright. Oh, no, it's not even all the people. Oh, man, I didn't realize it just kept going. Let's see. Where are we at? 18 minutes? That's not a lot of time. Let's see. Oh, good luck with your draw steal. Have a great time. Okay. So we didn't actually grab all the names there. That's fine. Okay, so there's 9 chapters and 7 dooms. So chapter 1, after discovering ghouls at work below the Sandpoint Boneyard, the PCs explore warrens in an ancient catacomb in hopes... How many dungeons are beneath this fucking town? In hopes of recovering the mortal remains of an important historical figure that were stolen from her grave. There are many machinations and complex plots afoot in the town of Sandpoint, as the PCs grow in power, they're drawn into numerous shenanigans and potentially dangerous confrontations. Alright, sounds like a filler chapter. Whistles in the dark. After learning of a growing threat in the Sandpoint hinterlands, the PCs discover a goblin clan that is allied with an enemy from the town's past. Okay, so chapters 1 and 2, we got 1 for setup, we got 2 for filler. And then I'm assuming every chapter after that is a doom, and that adds up to 9. Interesting. Okay. So, let's go. Boop. There we go. Wow. Alright. And then we've got up here, campaign timeline. So, grab this, and we'll just put timeline. Womp. Womp. Alright. Alright, Nualia gathers several bands of Gerblins together. Blah, blah, blah. Local bard and tavern keeper of Mako Kojitsu discovers that she's the rightful ruler of Minkai and travels. Okay. Band of heroes rebuilds an ancient artifact known as the Hedron or Shattered Star. The lost island of Zin rises from the seabed. Rune Lord Alasnus tampers with the flow of time, and although she's defeated, repercussions from her attempt result in the rise of New Thalassion along Varisia's northern border, which is why you can do Rustport as the intro to this adventure, but it doesn't work as good. The sinkhole that opened at Sandpoint in 2707 is finally filled in, burying the ancient dungeon below, once again. Wait. Okay. Giants and dragons in the service. Far to the east, Runelord, giants and dragons in the service of the stone giant Mokmurian attack Sandpoint and attempt to discover the route to an ancient dungeon called the Runeforge. Some months later, a sinkhole opens just north of the Sandpoint garrison to reveal a heretofore unknown dungeon below town. Heroes who start their adventure career at Sandpoint a year earlier defeat Karzug. Okay, well that's going to be interesting. Okay. Is this... Why am I not able to select the font? There we go. Alright. So, let's see. Burnt Offerings Integration Guide. Okay, looking at this timeline, assuming the PCs did not, sorry, the PCs only completed Burnt Offerings and not the rest of the Rise of the Rune Lords, comma, how do we transition from the end of Burnt Offerings to the start of Sandpoint? See below and attached for timeline from official adventure. Like, how do we explain the sinkhole and shit? Question mark. Alright. I don't know why it didn't do attached, but that's okay. Great question and vital one for your legacy path framing. You want your players to end Burnt Offerings as town-saving heroes without requiring them to slog through all of Rise of the Rune Lords, yet still arrive at 7 Dooms in 4727 with a canon-setting elements: Sinkhole, Runewell, Nualia, Ancient Evil intact, but not overwhelming. Correct. Seamless transition. Create a story bridge that feels satisfying and complete after Burnt Offerings. Justifies the sinkhole, ancient dungeon, and unfinished business. Leaves space for unresolved threats to awaken 17 years later. Doesn't require defeating Karzug, Mokmurian, or completing the rest of Rise of the Rune Lords. World events recap from Burnt Offerings alone. If you only run Burnt Offerings, hear what your players can actually deal with. They save Sandpoint from Gerblins, discover the Rune Well of Wrath, and slay Nualia before she can fully complete her transformation into a demonic figure. They probably never enter the Catacombs of Wrath more than briefly. They never touch on Mokmurian, Runeforge, or Karzug. So what's the loose thread? The Rune Well still exists, dormant, unsealed, and waiting. Nualia's plans were interrupted, but not necessarily nullified. Suggested campaign framing. Bridging the narrative. Here's how you could represent the gap between 4707 and 4724 to your players. No need for them to have played Rise of the Rune Lords. Sandpoint's Hidden Wound. In 4707 AR, you save Sandpoint. The Swallowtail Festival turned to blood, goblins raid the streets, and a fallen Asamar named Nualia nearly completed a dark ritual beneath the town, one that would have awakened a slumbering wrath from the ancient Thalassian. You stopped her, you became heroes, but something remained, something beneath. That winter, townsfolk heard tremors. Clerics claimed the ground was poisoned with lingering evil. 2 years later, a sinkhole opened beside the garrison, revealing a sealed ruin, a vault of stone and fire. The mayor begged Magnamar for help. The site was cordoned off, then buried under stone in 4720 AR. For 17 years, the town tried to forget. Okay, I like that. I like where that's going. For players who want to ask, but didn't we finish it? You can say, you fought Nualia before her ritual was complete. You shattered her allies and claimed her locket. But the forces she called upon were older and deeper than you knew. You lit the fuse. You didn't know there was a bomb buried under the town. Explain the sinkhole. Here's how to incorporate the sinkhole from the official timeline without requiring that your party beat Mokmurian or Karzug. The Runewell's lingering energy weakened the catacombs and cracked the bedrock over time. Nualia's ritual began to thin the veil, even though it was cut short. The sinkhole opens in 4709, revealing an ancient Thalassian dungeon, but it's too dangerous to explore. Town leaders seal it and bury it in 4720. That's your backdoor justification for the strange unease in Sandpoint, a spiritual scar that Seven Dunes can pick at, why Sandpoint is the Nexus, and not some random fate. Optional GM techniques. Have ghost, echoes, or strange dreams tied to the unsealed dungeon below start to appear around town as Seven Dooms begins. Let Nualia's Desolation Locket tremble or react when the players return. If the players buried her with honor, perhaps the town priest or caretaker reports disturbances in her tomb or flickers of red light from the grave. Well, what about Karzug and Mokmurian? They never awaken. In your version of the timeline, Mokmurian's forces fail to find Runeforge because Nualia's plan was stopped early. Karzog slumbers on. Eventually, someone else in the canon AP seals him for good. That thread is closed for this party, but the Runewell thread remains and festers. This also gives you license to swap Seven Dooms' villain origin from a Lasnist Karzug fallout to someone tied directly to unfinished Runewell of Wrath, Nualia's legacy, or even the PC's own past actions. Interesting. Okay. That's pretty fun. Alright. Only a few minutes and I go set up for local recording. Final summary, clean transition pitch. In 4707, your heroes stopped the ritual, but not the awakening. The dungeon below Sandpoint stirred, the land cracked, the town buried it. Now, 17 years later, the cracks are opening again. Let me know if you'd like a journal handout of this for players, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, what I think would be kind of cool is Aldern Foxglove. Okay. It is my understanding that the NPC noble from Burnt Offerings, Aldern Foxglove, goes into Book 2 of Rise of the Runelords and becomes a villain. Serial killer? Question mark. What if, to honor that and the fact that the party is close to him in our Burnt Offerings game, comma, we make him the BBEG replacement for Alright. Where's the part about players to substitute license? Okay. Alright. There we go. Yes, turning Aldern Foxglove, charismatic noble, tragic aristocrat, eventual skin-saw man into a true architect behind the Seven Dooms is an inspired move. It does everything right. Honors Rise of the Runelord's lore, deepens the personal stakes for your players, keeps everything rooted in Sandpoint's past, allows you to bypass a Lasnist Karzug overload, elevates a mid-tier villain into a mythic level manipulator. High-level concept, the Foxglove paradox. Alright, love it. So that's how we can do this without worrying about 5 books of lore that are going to be left out on the cutting room floor. Let's see. Okay. Well, I gotta go run my game. I'm gonna record it locally. That recording will be up on the Patreon Google Drive if you are interested in watching it. I'll be back Thursday to do some prep for Skyhaven and to run Skyhaven. I hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see you next time.